Holly and Ash Tarot. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ash, and today's reading is going to be a no contact reading. What would they tell you if they could? Okay, before we begin, I do want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed recently. It really means a lot to me when I started this channel. There's so many other tarot YouTubers out there, and so I didn't know if anybody would even watch my videos, but I feel really blessed to have you guys join my channel, and I hope you enjoy my videos in the future. If you would like to subscribe and join the growing family, please do so. But we're going to start with pile number 1, which is this little dog. I forgot what his name is. I think his name was like Kiboyashi or something like that. And then we have number 2, which is this little fox I got in Japan out of like a vending machine. And then number 3 is this Pikachu. I only used him because I couldn't find anything else that was this height, but he lights up, so that's cool. Alright, so just take a moment, pick whichever pile resonates with you, and then we can get started. Please pause the video if you need more time, but I'm going to get started with pile number 1. Okay, my pile number 1s. Let's see what your person wants to say to you. So if you pick this little dog, this message is for you. Please keep in mind this is a general reading. Not everything is going to resonate with you. Please take what does and leave what doesn't. And if this reading isn't for you, you can go back and pick a different pile, or you can go look at some other videos. There are tons of people out there who make them, but let's begin. Alright, so we have Queen of Wands in reverse. We have 10 of Pentacles in reverse. We have 8 of Wands in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse. I'm going to scooch him over. We have 5 of Pentacles. And we have Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, so there's a lot of Wands energy here, a lot of fiery energy. So your person might be a fire sign. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You might be a fire sign. Okay, I feel like this person's really lost right now. Like, they just want to tell you, like they don't really understand what their future holds. And they're not really enjoying themselves in life right now. They're not really taking any kind of responsibility on either. Like, perhaps they're not taking responsibility for the situation that happened between you two, or they're just not really doing anything in their life. So they're not taking on any work responsibilities, or maybe they're fighting with some sort of depression even. They know they need to find it within themselves. They know they need to find their power within themselves to bring them out of this. But they feel really left out in the cold. Sorry. They feel really left out in the cold by this situation, whatever happened between the two of you. And so, they're having a hard time, like, figuring out if they have a future with you right now. So they're also feeling like they need to kind of step away to take care of themselves, to sort of enjoy themselves. Like, their cup is empty right now. Their cup is very empty. And so they're trying to figure out how to refill it on their own, but they just don't know how. So they're kind of like in this kind of like stuck position where they're like, okay, like I know I need to do this. I know I have the power within myself to do it, but I don't know. It's like they have like a learned helplessness. So for those of you who do not know what learned helplessness is, it's literally like where people feel like they've been invalidated so much, or they feel like they haven't had the support they needed, and therefore like they kind of stop trying, if that makes sense. So like you know, it could be like when you start a project and you fail, you instantly just stop, like that kind of thing. So I'm not saying like you probably invalidated them or anything like that, but you know, I think perhaps they've had people in their life that have, and it's kind of affected them in this way where they're like, okay, well, it didn't work out, and so now I feel helpless and I don't know what to do. Even though they do, I feel like they do know what to do, they're just not doing it, actually. We also have Page of Wands in reverse, which makes me think that they were like kind of like checking up on you on social media in the past, but now they're not anymore. I feel like they kind of stopped doing that and they started like turning away, because now since the fox is now upside down, he's kind of walking towards the future a little bit. Okay, so I feel like they were like kind of like sneaking around your social media, but now they're kind of like, okay, like I know this isn't healthy. I know this is just making me feel more abandoned. It's like it's leaking my cup even more. So I need to kind of walk away from this. So maybe they took you off social media, maybe they blocked your number, or maybe they just blocked your Instagram or something like that. Or perhaps you're the one that blocked them and then they're like, okay, like, I get the message. What else is here? For a few of you, this person might be drinking to kind of cope with what is going on, or they're overindulging in something. So it could be like perhaps an eating disorder or some other type of unhealthy coping mechanism. Maybe they're playing too many video games. They're doing things that they think are going to help like revive them, but it's not working for them. And they want to say like, you know, they're kind of like hyper fixating on this a little bit. Like they're hyper fixating on the fact that they're alone without you, and they have to move away from you. But they want you to know, what they would say to you is like, they want you to know, they're like, I know I have the power within myself, but to me, my future is unclear. And I have too many things to start working on. I feel too overwhelmed and I just don't want to do it. And my cup is so drained. I feel so drained and empty. But I'm still trying to slowly move forward. Okay, we have Clean It Up here from the Wisdom of the Oracle. We have Peace. We have Between Worlds. We have Observer in reverse. And we have Not For You. Okay, yeah. So because Observer is in reverse, they're definitely not looking at your social media anymore, but they were in the past. And they want to let you know that, okay? So like if you were like wondering if they were checking in, they were, but they're not anymore. They really do. They want you to know, like, they really do want to clean things up with you. Like, they just don't know where to begin. Like, they feel very overwhelmed. They feel very, just kind of heartbroken about it. But like, you know, the Three of Swords was not here. There wasn't a whole lot of swords energy here. So, you know, I feel like this person's a little impulsive. But like they're not holding any like really big ill feelings towards you or anything like that, okay? Like they're not holding any kind of resentment or anything. You were somebody that really brought them peace, okay? You were somebody who could really help them relax and be themselves, and they really love that and they appreciated that and they really miss that. That's something they really, really miss about you. And that's like, they want that back. They want to clean things up with you for sure. But I think they just don't know how. Oh, so maybe you're the one that blocked them, and that's why the Five of Pentacles is here, because they want to reach out, but then you block them, and then they turned into the Page of Wands in reverse, and they're like, okay, like, I'll just slink away then, like, I get the message. So, because they're definitely wondering, like, if you're not for them, okay? So this is a person, I feel like they believe, like, if it's, like, meant to happen, it'll happen. That might not resonate with all of you, but that's just the feeling I'm getting right now. And right now they're between two worlds, because they're like, okay, do I move on or do I stay with this person? Like, they don't know either. They're teeter-tottering, okay? Like, I feel like they really want to go towards you guys, but they feel like they can't. They feel like there's a huge block somewhere. And so they're trying to deal with it in maybe some not so healthy kind of ways. But they're really missing you guys. This can also be them starting to move forward because they feel like you kind of kicked them out of your life. Or perhaps they kicked you perhaps they kicked you out of their life, okay? But, you know, so this is either like they're on the edge because they can't decide if they want to like try to pursue you again or not. And also they're really considering like moving forward. I think they're just going to like try to move forward because they don't know what they can do. They can't watch you anymore. So they don't really know how to clean it up or how to approach you. Like, maybe this person was expecting you to like kind of like talk trash on your social media or something. So they can like figure out what they did wrong. Like, you know, like maybe this person doesn't necessarily know what they did wrong, but they want peace in between you two. They want a very beautiful and healthy relationship with you guys, but they're just not sure if it's for them yet. Okay, we have Antelope Spirit. Life is speeding up. Whoops. And then we have Whale Spirit, which is Trust the Great Mystery. Okay, so this person's like, they're starting to realize that like life is going to go on without them no matter what. So they're going to have to move forward either way. And I feel like they don't want to move forward without you. That's why they're kind of hesitating. But they're sort of realizing like, oh, I'm going to start missing out on stuff too. Like, you know, I need to keep living anyway. Like, perhaps they see you kind of like living on your social media, or like they asked your mutual friends about you and they're like, oh, they're doing great. And so they're like, oh man, they're doing great without me. Maybe I should just like move on. So like this person's kind of like feeling a little overwhelmed again, I would say. And they're like, okay, like the world is turning, the earth is turning, days turn into nights, and so forth and so on. So, you know, I probably need to like get up and do something too. But on the other hand, this can also mean that they feel like the connection with you two is being brought back together. Or it's going to be brought back together in the future. Either way, they feel like something is going a little too fast for them and it's kind of overwhelming them a little bit. But you know what? They trust spirit. They know life has some great mysteries, okay? So, like, right now, I think they're kind of putting out there in the universe. And they're letting you know this, too. Like, they're putting out in the universe, like, they're not sure if you want them back in their life or not, okay? So, like, you know, if you were thinking about messaging this person, like maybe you should message them. Maybe they're just like trying to like manifest you back. Maybe they're waiting for some kind of sign in order to approach you. But they definitely trust, I feel like they definitely do trust that this relationship will come back together. But they're just not sure when. And if it was romantic, they're not sure if it'll be romantic anymore. This not for you could just be like, maybe like you two aren't meant to date, but like you're meant to be really good friends or something like that. Let's look at their emotions. Adjustments are required. And the end of a tough cycle approaches. This person's letting you know, like they're really putting in the work for you. Like they know what they need to do and they feel very overwhelmed. And they know they have it within themselves and they're trying really hard to put in their work. They're doing their shadow work, I feel like. Right now they're probably working on more of an emotional side. But like they understand that adjustments are required. Like they know they can't be with you because things can't be like how they were last time. They know things have to be different now. And they know you're never going to accept them unless they genuinely are. And then we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So I feel like this person's been really stuck in like karmic cycles, just trying to figure out how to get out of them so they can learn healthy skills. So, you know, this person could be like maybe they've had a lot of toxic kind of situations in the past, or maybe just like not very good relationships in the past, and so like maybe they drop relationships really quickly because they expect them not to work out. And then now this person's kind of looking back and they're like, oh, like maybe I should have like done something before, like maybe I should have done the self-work before. But yeah, I feel like this person's like fighting to get out of their karmic cycles for sure. They're fighting to get out of something, to have a different kind of perspective so that they can make the adjustments they need to make in order to come back and clean things up with you. This person can also be dealing with some family issues or some financial issues that are going to end soon for them, and that will bring them in a better place to work on themselves as well. I think they want you to know that they really love you, but they just have to do this. This is something that, of course, it depends on what you believe in, but this is something they put in their life chart, their life contract that they need to do, because this is something they're here to do, okay? So, like, even if it's not necessarily big, you could be like, Ash, what do you mean? Like, you know, it's just because they had a big ego or something like that. But, you know, like, even the things that seem small, like when we do self-work, we do self-work. It doesn't matter what it's on, because self-work is self-work. And it needs to be done eventually. So that's what this person's doing. Like, you know, they're just really like getting into the phase where they are needing to do self-work. They're realizing they're going to have to move on. They know what needs to be done. They know they have it within themselves, but they're kind of like procrastinating it almost. But you know, that's going to start ending. They're going to get their stuff together. They're going to work things out. And I think they're going to start growing as a person. But if you're wondering if like they're like stalking you or something, I would say no, they're not. They could have like been literally stalking you in the past for a few of you, but most of you, I think they were just like watching your social media. So like, you know, if you're like posting on Facebook or something, or they're like asking, perhaps if you block them on everything like early on, perhaps they were asking their friends to take screenshots of your account, or like maybe they made a second profile or something. But I do get the sense that they were kind of like low-key stalking you before, and they just like gave up for some reason. Alright guys, that's all I have for pile number 1. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna go on to pile number 2. But before I do, my email is down below. If you would like more information about this person of yours, you can feel free to email me for a private reading. Alright, thank you guys so much. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2, which is this fox. Isn't he cool? All the ones in the machine were white, so I thought I was going to get a white one. And then there was a mystery one, and I ended up getting the mystery one. I don't know. I just thought that was good luck. I felt like I won that day. Alright, let's see what your person wants to tell you. Please do keep in mind that this is a general reading. Not everything is going to resonate with you. Please do take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, we have Knight of Cups. We have Knight of Pentacles. We have Seven of Swords in reverse. We have Knight of Swords in reverse. Lots of sword energy going on here. We have King of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have Ace of Swords. Okay. So first off, like, we have two knights. We have two knights. Oh, we have three knights. Whoops. We have three whole knights, okay? So this person... I think they're still really, like, they want to let you know, like, they're still really in their feelings. They're still battling kind of things out mentally. There's a lot of cold energy here. It's like, I don't know if you guys can see very well, but like the color scheme is very, very similar with these cards. So I feel like this person's kind of like in a dark place right now. Like, they're still very emotional about it. They feel like they put a lot of work into the relationship and they didn't really get what they wanted out of it. They also might have felt like they lost some sort of financial gain, or, you know, like you were a treasure to them and they felt like they really lost you. Like, they're definitely feeling the loss of you here. They're trying to make it look like they're being really successful right now. So maybe on their social media, like, they're going out with friends, they're partying, they're having fun, but they're really not like having a good time. They're trying to really battle like these feelings they're having and these thoughts they're having. But they feel like you kind of like made like a thief in the night. Like, you just kind of like stole their heart and like ran with it. Like, I feel like they feel kind of burdened by it. They also might have feel like you kind of like went behind their back. I'm not saying you did, but this is just like what this person is kind of like saying, like, you know, maybe they suspected there was cheating or something like that, or maybe they cheated on you. Maybe they were the one that went behind your back, and they felt like they went through great lengths to kind of like hide some sort of secret from you, and you found it out, and that's why the relationship kind of like ended, or that's why there's no contact right now. I think they're really trying to like look within themselves, but they don't want to deal with these negative feelings. They're trying to look within themselves for some sort of answer. Like, they're trying to talk to their higher selves even. I also feel like this person's kind of stuck in their ways, like with the King of Yeah, so, like, I feel like this person's just, with the Knight of Cups, I feel like they're kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm like trying to like decode the energy here. When I pulled your cards, they were really hard. They like didn't want to come out at all. So, you know, I just feel like this person, like, they don't necessarily like really want to like talk to you right now. No offense. I mean, I'm just gonna like call it as I see it. But yeah, like, I feel like this person's kind of like guarding their emotions right now. Like, they just really, like, they're presenting themselves as kind of cold or detached even. And they just feel very disappointed. I feel like they feel just very disappointed. Like, they lost something that was very near and dear to them. They feel like they worked really hard for it. Maybe they felt like they really had to gain your trust, or maybe they really had to woo you, or they feel like they felt like they had to do a lot of work in order to keep you in their lives, and it was just like such a burden to them. That's just what they're thinking. That's just what they're feeling now. Okay, so it doesn't mean that they're gonna feel like this forever. So this could be like something that happened very recently, in the near past, and it still feels very fresh to them, or, you know, they're just kind of going through the cycle of like releasing somebody where they get kind of bitter about them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to think this way about you. So then we have TikTok. We have deep knowing. We have here and now in reverse. We have chop wood in reverse. And then we have milk and honey in reverse. All right, so right off the bat, like, I feel like this person already knew that there was going to be some kind of separation between you two, or that there was going to be some kind of like breakup, but like they didn't want to admit it to themselves. It was just kind of like, like it was about time anyway, But we have chop wood here. So this person's like, I put in the work. They felt like they put in the work, okay? Now, whether they really did or not, but they felt like they did. They also felt like this relationship was too good to be true, okay? So maybe there was like some kind of self-sabotaging going on, and this person kind of self-sabotaged themselves. And because of that, the relationship ended, but then they blame you or something like that. We have here and now in reverse. So this person's definitely not like thinking with a clear head. Their mind is really cloudy right now. Clouded by emotions. They're probably reflecting on the past quite a bit. They're probably remembering things, like when you're really upset, and you tend to remember the bad things more than the good things. So I feel like that's what this person's kind of doing right now. But at the same time, they could be really they could be like really sick of this mindset. I feel like they're kind of sick of this mindset, and they're like letting you know, like, okay, like I know, like, as kind of like doing this, and I know it's not really good, and I don't really think of you that way. Like, you were their milk and honey. Like, you were something very beautiful to them and precious to them. Like, we had the King of Pentacles in reverse. Like, the king literally like lost like his castle, his throne. And that's how this person's kind of feeling right now. So, this person might even be interested in working things out, because chopped wood in reverse is all about making opportunities for yourself. So they might be kind of considering approaching you in the future, like, even though like this is their state right now, like maybe they're just trying to work through things so that they are able to approach you again. But I think they're also waiting for a message from the divine to like kind of help them through this, because I feel like like even if this was something that happened recently, I feel like they're kind of sick of this mindset. It's not a very good mindset to be in. It really drains you. It makes you feel very tired. And I think this person's kind of like realizing that a little bit. And so they're kind of waiting, like, okay, like, what do I need to do to put the work in? But yeah, they still think that this relationship just was too good to be true, and that's why it didn't work out. Like, you were too good for them. Maybe they self-sabotaged because they feel like they weren't good enough. All right, we have time for a beginner mind, which is Porcupine Spirit. And we have Swan Spirit, which is time for a deep dive. So despite the negative way this person is kind of thinking, I do think they still want something with you. Like, I think they're just kind of going through like a grieving process, like, what are the stages of grief? It's like anger and resentment is one of them, I think. Or what was it? Denial as well. Like, I feel like this person's kind of like in denial, and they're kind of like in some kind of like resentment mode, but I don't think deep down they genuinely feel that way, because I can tell they feel a lot of passion for you. Like, they feel like they definitely have their guard up towards you right now. So maybe that's why you're not in contact. Like, maybe you text them and they just didn't respond or something like that, or maybe you called or dropped by their house and they just didn't want to see you. But they really love you. And like, the thing is that like, they need to realize that if they put in the work, then they can deserve something that's too good for them. Like, they feel like you're just too, like, you're way out of his league, or their league, sorry. You're way out of their league. That's what this person feels like. Okay, so like, this doesn't even have to be romantic. This can be friendship wise, okay? Like, maybe this person just doesn't have the same love language as you. Maybe this person is very inexperienced. Maybe this person has just gone through some stuff. They just don't really know like how to take it, how to react to it. But like, because we do have time for a beginner mind, like, they're like, okay, like, I'm gonna get through my emotions. I'm gonna fight through my emotions, and then I'm going to look at things differently. I'm going to look at things clearly as they really are and not from an emotional standpoint. So I feel like this person is really going to, they're really going to kind of get out of their head a little bit and start looking at things from a different perspective. And then we also have time for a deep dive. Okay, so this person is really reflecting within themselves. They're really trying to figure out why. Or perhaps you broke up with them and now they're just feeling unworthy, so they're just kind of blaming you because they feel like, for some of you, they feel like they tried so hard to be worthy, but, you know, like they're just this person's really insecure. That's just like what I'm getting. Is like they're really insecure, whether they let you know or not, because I do feel like they did have those kind of like walls up, especially when I was shuffling these cards and trying to pull one. But this person is really going to go within themselves during this time. And they're letting you know, they're like, okay, like I am doing a lot of self-reflection right now. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't work out, why it wasn't good enough, what needed to be done, what I shouldn't have done, you know, things like that. You know, so this person, like, I feel like they're kind of teeter-tottering between like blaming you and blaming themselves, you know? And so like, not... like, of course, you don't always necessarily need somebody to blame, but within a situation like this, but, you know, I feel like they're just, like, they don't really know how to, like, I feel like they're just trying to work out their emotions. Like, they're not quite sure. Because losing you was such a huge loss for them. It was, like, the end of a cycle for them where, you know, maybe they were really happy, or like for some of you, maybe they weren't necessarily happy with you, and that's probably why you ended the relationship. But they felt like they were happy with you. Okay, they felt like they had an amazing relationship with you. For a few of you, the end of this relationship could have even blindsided them, and that's why they're kind of resentful and confused right now. They're sort of feeling like, you know, oh, I put in my work. I thought I was a great friend. I thought I was a great lover. But I guess I wasn't good enough. Like, they're just like kind of confused. They're not quite sure. So, you know, I think they're just trying to work things out right now. That's what they want you to know. Then we have you are good enough. Aha. Yeah. So I feel like this person's like, okay, like, you know, so if you feel like you weren't good enough in the relationship, this person wants you to know like you were good enough for them. You were like too good for them, basically. You're too good for them. This person's feeling like they're not good enough for you. And then nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, so like, yeah, this person's just kind of like going through their emotions, like the tides. Like they're just letting the emotions like wash over them, and they're allowing themselves to deal with things the way they need to deal with them. So even though they're negative right now, like I said before, like they're not always going to think of you this way. And I think they're just trying to figure out their emotions, you know. So like this could have even been like their very first heartbreak for some of them, or you know, like just a situation they weren't prepared to handle. For a few of you, this might be somebody who just doesn't deal with their emotions very well, and now they're in a place where they're forced to kind of deal with them. So, you know, that's something that they're kind of struggling with as well. But yeah, they're definitely just like letting the emotions hit them, trying to like go deep within themselves to release any kind of negativity. And it's going to take a little while for them to work it out, so be patient with them. But, you know, if you were wondering if they hate you or anything, like hate, I don't think so. Like, I think they might kind of resent you right now, but I do also feel a lot of love for you at the same time. So, you know, I feel like this person is just kind of going back and forth. Okay. All right. So if you would like to continue this reading or know more about this person, you can email me. My email is down below, and you can request a personal reading. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Hello, my pile number 3s with the glowing Pikachu. Isn't he cool? You know what? I've had this thing forever. Does it have a date on it? It doesn't. But I think I bought this in like 2012 or 2013. Like, this was like when I first like discovered eBay, and I was like, oh, I like begged my mom. I was like, can I please buy something on eBay? And I think I bought this for like, I won this in a bid for like $3 or something. And I was so proud of myself. And I still have it. I just, like, I've moved to like so many houses and so many different places over the years. And I just kept it, and it still works. I've never changed the battery in it. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, I've never changed the battery in it. And it still works. Isn't that amazing? All right, so maybe that can be like maybe that could be like a sign about your relationship. I don't know. I just thought that was a fun story. All right, so my number threes. I do want to remind you that this is a general reading, so please keep that in mind. If it does not resonate with you, then you can go back and pick a different pile, or you can go check out some other videos. But we're going to get started, okay? So first we have the Fool. We have Three of Swords. We have Death in reverse. We have Two of Wands. We have Nine of Swords in reverse. And we have 10 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so right off the bat, this person's feeling very overwhelmed. They're feeling very overworked. And because of that, they might be a little shut down or emotional right now. They feel very trapped. Very trapped, okay? Like the whole bottom row is about entrapment. All right, like this person feels that so hardcore, okay? And they want to let you know that for some reason. They just really want you to know that they're just feeling so suffocated right now. They're feeling so trapped right now. They're also feeling very heartbroken about what happened between the two of you. So maybe they're stuck in some sort of cycle and they thought like, you know, ending some sort of relationship with you would sort of end that cycle. But it didn't, because we have Death in reverse. Like they want some kind of new beginning, but it just didn't really come for them. And now they're kind of feeling like that heartbreak. But I feel like for a lot of you, you probably broke up with this person though, or you probably ended the relationship with this person though, because we do have this Three of Swords here. Or it can be flipped, and this person, of course it could be flipped, but you know, perhaps this person, so if this person's the one that broke your heart, then they want to say like, you know, I'm aware I broke your heart. Okay, so I'm going to read this two different ways, okay? So the first way is going to be if they were the one that broke your heart, and then the second way is going to be if you broke their heart, okay? So I'm going to read it as if you broke, wait, I already forgot. Okay, so the first way I'm going to read it is if they broke your heart, okay? So the reason why they broke your heart is because they were feeling kind of trapped in the relationship. Maybe you guys were fighting a lot. Maybe this person just dealt with a bunch of like depression and things like that. Maybe things weren't going well in their family life, in their work life. Of course, this doesn't have to be romantic either. This can be like a friendship. Like perhaps they thought the friendship was just like too much for them for some reason. They feel kind of like silly for going into it, but they thought like, you know, they had to have a relationship with you because it's just so fun. It was just so fun to be around you. Like they felt like a child. They felt like they could be themselves. But they, in the end, they feel like that kind of like worked against them in a way. It wasn't the beginning that they wanted, okay? It wasn't the kind of life that they wanted. So, you know, they just felt really suffocated. Maybe they woke up one day and they're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like they couldn't live their life anymore. Maybe they also quit their job and moved away. Excuse me. I've been having such bad allergies recently. I mean, I took medicine before I did this, but I don't know. Or perhaps they felt like they were holding you back, okay? Perhaps they were holding you back, or maybe they were even jealous of you. All right, so I mean, this card is in reverse, but like look at the birds here, okay? Like this girl, like she has a cage over her head, but she's just like staring at the birds, and the cage is self-made. All right, so this person, like maybe they were even jealous of your success, and they like were tired of like watching you do so good all the time, and they felt so trapped. But at the same time, this can also mean that they were just like watching your social media. Like they were, maybe you're like some kind of social media influencer and they were just like watching you get, like watching you rise. And they felt jealous in some sort of way. But they felt very cornered. They felt very cornered. They felt very stuck. And that's why they had to like release this, but it didn't really do what they wanted to happen. Like, you know, they still feel this way. So now I'm going to read it as if you were the one that did it to them. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think again. So I started going off on something else. So if you're the one that did it to them, they feel very... Yeah, so again, like, they felt like they could really be themselves around you, but they felt like in the end, like, you used that against them and like stabbed them in the back. So maybe you they trusted you with some sort of secrets, or maybe you were like talking, they felt like you were talking like to your mutual friends about them, or like some kind of gossip. Maybe there was also some kind of third party involved, or maybe they thought like you'd rather be with somebody else. Like, they thought you were just too beautiful, and they were like kind of like your slave almost. I feel like they felt like really trapped, as in like, you know, they were like at your mercy a lot. And right now they can't move forward and they can't have a new beginning because they feel so devastated. Like, maybe there was a lot of codependency going on. Maybe this person was really codependent on you. Also, they know that they can't have a no. This goes for both people, so it doesn't matter who did what to who. But like, this person right now, they're like, okay, I know we cannot have any new beginnings, all right? So I don't think they're thinking about having another beginning with you, and I don't think they're thinking about reaching out to you. I feel like they're still very trapped mentally, okay? So let's move on. You guys got a lot of cards here. So we have happy, happy. Very interesting. We have time to go. We have blessed and reversed. We have no place like home. We have by the book in reverse. We have higher power in reverse. And then we have time for a nap in reverse. Okay, so like, this person is really shut down. I feel like they're just really shut down. Because we do have blessed, higher power, and time for a nap all in reverse. Like, this person's just like, they're not listening to their intuition. They're not listening to their spiritual team. They're not listening to their spirit guides. They're feeling right now like they're very cursed even. Like, they just feel like nothing goes right in their life. They feel like they could be very happy, and it's like time for them to be happy. But they feel like this, like, it's just, things just keep blocking it. Like, this person like wants you to know, like, you know, I keep trying to find happiness. And like, maybe this person was just too mopey and you couldn't be around them anymore. But like, this person's like, you know, I tried to find happiness, and every time I would move forward, like, something just like would just stop me. And they feel like exhausted, but you know, at the same time, like, they just try to keep trucking. And you know what? That's probably why I'm gonna move these up again. It's probably why the bottom row is like this. Like, this person literally feels trapped in all aspects of their life. Okay, so they probably feel trapped about their home life. They feel trapped about their romance life, about their office life, their school life, everything. Like, they just feel too overwhelmed by everything. They feel suffocated by life right now, and so they're kind of shutting down because they can't really deal with this. And every time, like, but the thing is though, is like, they're not dealing with it. That's why there's always blockages that are put up, because they need to do the work, and that's what the divine are trying to tell them. And this person's like, no, I just need to move on. But yeah, this person really needs to take some time to rest for themselves, and they're just not really doing it. I feel like either this person did move recently, they're considering moving, or you live together and they had to move out for some of you. But this person, like, you know, they want you to know that you feel like home to them. They were very happy with you. despite what you may think. And I think they're realizing that now. Like, I think in the beginning they felt really, really trapped in some kind of, in the relationship with you. They felt like it was just too burdensome for them. But now that they're out of it, it didn't really do what they wanted. And they're kind of realizing, they're like, oh, like, maybe it's me, maybe it's something else in my life, like, but it wasn't the relationship. And now they're kind of like, I want to go home. I want to go home to this relationship. And this person could be like somebody who's very unconventional as well, or very eccentric. Maybe they dropped out of school to like start a business. Maybe they're just like trying to do their own thing. But this person, like, they definitely don't do things by the book. Or they felt like your relationship was very non-traditional. Like, you guys didn't do things by the book either, and they really enjoyed that as well. But I also think they're kind of like reflecting on things a little bit, and they're like realizing all this. Like, they were happy with you, they felt like they felt at home with you, but they just tried too much, they overwhelmed themselves, and then they ended up ending the wrong thing. I feel like that. Or perhaps you were the one that ended it because you kind of like realized that things weren't like really going in some sort of healthy way. But at the same time, they're sort of ready to move forward and be happy with their life. We have freedom is yours. Yeah, so this person's really just like looking for some sort of freedom. Like, they just feel very, very burdened by everything in their life. So maybe this person's like Aries or Sagittarius or something. I don't know. But like, maybe they have strong fire placements or something. But, or maybe even air placements for some of you. But yeah, like, this person just like, they just want freedom. Like, they feel so shackled down by life. So perhaps they're not doing their life purpose, they're not doing their life's work, and their soul is starting to really feel that. We have take time out. Okay, so this person's like realizing that they need to take time out, you know, because we do have time for a nap in reverse, but they're not doing it. Okay, so like, this person's like telling you, like, maybe they're going to take time out right now, or maybe they feel like the distance between you two is just taking time out to work things out, working on themselves. So maybe like it wasn't like a breakup, but like maybe it's sort of like you guys put your relationship on pause for whatever reason. So this person can figure out what's going on with their life, because they don't want to do things by the book. They feel like society is like restricting them. They feel horrible. They feel like they can't live their life. Like, they just want to live like the fool, and they feel like they can live with the fool with you. But I think they want to achieve that in their whole overall life. Then we have Peacock, which is let it shine. So yeah, again, this person just wants to be their true authentic self, and they're just trying to figure themselves out. And that's what they want you to know. They're like, okay, you know, like, I didn't do this because like I hate you or anything. Like, I feel heartbreak too. And I know you're probably heartbroken, but like, I need to figure out myself. Like, I am suffering so much here. This person is suffering, guys. Like, whew, the energy is sad, is heavy. Okay, so, you know, like, they're just trying to figure out where they fit in to all this. They're trying to figure out where they fit into the life, the universe. They also might be going out in nature. So maybe they're camping or hiking, or sitting in the park to do some art or something like that. You know, this person can also be changing their wardrobe right now. But also, because like, look at this peacock, okay? There's like a heart in the middle of its chest / throat. And so like, you know, they need to open up their throat chakra more. And their heart chakra. I also feel like this is kind of like for you though. Like, I feel like this light right here is for you. And I feel like in a way they're kind of like trying to figure out how to free themselves so they can give you a happier relationship almost. But at the same time, like, you know, we have death in reverse. So I feel like they want to do this, but they're not sure if you would let them back in, or if there's like another beginning. Like, maybe they fucked up really bad. Okay, we have look at the bigger picture. And then we also have fiery climax approaches. Okay, so this person might message you spur of the moment, and they might say some things. Maybe they'll message you drunk or something. That's just the vibe I'm getting for some of you. But like, I feel like they're just gonna kind of message you like, hey, and then they're gonna spill a bunch of stuff over text that might be a little inappropriate, or it might be fun. Who knows? But yeah, this person's like, this person's asking you to look at how the relationship ended, or how, so why is there a separation? Okay, like they want you to look at that with a different perspective. They want you to look at the bigger picture. Okay, so you know, like this person's like really struggling right now, and I don't think it has really anything to do with you personally per se. But I feel like this person is just struggling in every aspect of their life. They're struggling with society. They're struggling with figuring out what they want to do, their life mission, that sort of thing. And they're not really listening to their team of guides. So they just feel kind of lost right now and kind of overwhelmed right now, okay? And so they want you to kind of look at things from their perspective. Like I'm sure we've all kind of been there at one point, and so you must know how horrible that feels. And they're just like trying to find themselves, you know? Like that's all they want you to know. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. And before you go, I would like to remind you that my information is down below if you would like to book a personal reading with me. And then we can check in on your person on a personal level. And yeah, all right, so that's all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again later. Bye-bye.